When your cat rushes to meet you at the front door, have you ever stopped to wonder what's really happening beneath that furry little forehead? Most pet parents assume it's simple. My cat missed me. Case closed. But that daily doorstep ritual is actually one of the most emotionally complex exchanges your cat will initiate all day. And if you misread it, which the vast majority of owners do without even realizing, you're not just overlooking a sweet habit, you're missing a private conversation your cat is having with you, and only you. Let's unpack it. First, your cat is scanning your emotional state before you've said a single word. Have you ever noticed how your feline reacts differently when you've had a rough day versus a great one? That's no accident. Research published in the journal Animal Cognition demonstrates that domestic cats can recognize human facial expressions and will actually modify their own behavior based on what they detect. So when you arrive home feeling exhausted, annoyed, or uneasy, your cat already senses it before you've even set down your keys. Your cat is paying attention to how you actually feel, not how you say you feel. Here's the fascinating layer most people miss. They don't just notice your mood, they respond to it deliberately. Walk in tense or agitated, and some cats will hang back, not out of indifference, but out of caution. Others will do the reverse and move closer, almost as if they're performing a wellness check. It all depends on the unique trust you've built together. Pause and appreciate that for a moment. Your cat is demonstrating an emotional awareness that many humans in your life don't bother with. They're observing your genuine state, not the version you pretend to project. But this is only the beginning. Later in this video, I'm going to explain why your cat has specifically chosen the doorway as the stage for all of this. Ever wonder why not the couch, the bed, or the sunny spot on the carpet? And when you learn the real reason, it will reshape how you see that daily reunion entirely. It runs much deeper than you imagine. Second, your cat is actively editing your scent profile every single time you cross the threshold. Why does your cat immediately press their head into your ankles the moment you step inside? Most people assume it's just a friendly hello, but the truth is far more purposeful. Cats possess scent glands located on their cheeks, forehead, and tail base. When they brush against you at the entrance, they aren't cuddling. They're labeling you as theirs. You've been outside all day collecting odors from work, coffee shops, public transit, maybe even other animals. To your cat, you return smelling unfamiliar. That rub is their solution. They're depositing their own pheromones onto your clothes and skin, transforming you back into a recognizable member of their colony. Biologists call this behavior bunting, and it's among the most intentional scent-based actions cats perform. And here's the part that catches people off guard. If you arrive home carrying the smell of another cat or a dog, that greeting may become longer, more thorough, more insistent. They're not being clingy. They're working overtime to erase what doesn't belong. They're not being needy. They're putting in extra effort to scrub away the outsider and reapply their own signature. And hey, if your cat has been meeting you at the door all this time and you're just now discovering what they were really communicating, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so we can help more owners who never realized their cat was speaking a whole language they hadn't learned to hear. Third, not every doorstep greeting is actually affectionate. What if that endearing welcome isn't a welcome at all? I realize that's a tough idea to accept, but stay with me here. Sometimes when your cat meets you at the entry, they aren't expressing, "I missed you." They're expressing, "Finally, you're back. Now go fix what's broken." And honestly, once you learn to distinguish the difference, you'll never interpret that moment the same way again. Consider this scenario. Your cat greets you and then immediately strides toward the kitchen, pauses, and glances backward. That's not affection. That's a guided tour. They're literally walking you to the food bowl because, in their internal logic, your return means the kitchen is now open for business. And it's not only about meals. Some cats will meet you at the door and then lead you directly to the litter box, having waited all day for you to clean it. Others will vocalize nonstop from the moment you enter, not because they long for the sound of your voice, but because their day was monotonous and you've just become their sole source of entertainment. Have you ever heard that specific cry that sounds almost like a human baby? A study from the University of Sussex discovered that cats have developed a specialized vocalization, a purr blended with a high-frequency meow, eerily similar to an infant's wail, specifically designed to get owners to respond more quickly. They've learned exactly which buttons to push, and they deploy that tactic right as you walk in. So how can you tell a genuine welcome from a demand? Watch the after action. A cat that greets you and then lingers close by, that's bonding. A cat that greets you and then leads you somewhere, that's a work order. Both are valid forms of communication, but only one is the version you've been assuming all along. Fourth, your cat has memorized your daily schedule down to the minute. Did you realize your cat can detect your vehicle pulling into the driveway before you've even killed the engine? That may sound exaggerated, but science backs it up. Cats hear frequencies up to 64,000 hertz, nearly double what dogs can perceive. That means the unique rumble of your car, the pattern of your footsteps on the pavement, even the specific jingle of your keys being pulled from your pocket. Your cat has committed all of it to memory. They aren't waiting by the door by coincidence. They detected your approach several minutes earlier, but it goes beyond sound alone. Cats are pattern recognition specialists. They learn what hour you wake up, what hour you leave, and, with surprising precision, what hour you typically return. Their internal biological clock is so reliable that researchers at the University of Liverpool found cats display increased movement and restlessness just before their owner's usual homecoming time. And they aren't simply noticing that you've arrived, they've been counting down the minutes. And here's the detail that really lands. When you're running late, that doorstep greeting changes. It becomes louder, more urgent, sometimes almost frantic. Because for the past 20 or 30 minutes, your cat has been sitting with a quiet, creeping anxiety, wondering if the pattern broke, wondering if something bad happened. So when your cat is already positioned at the door before you even reach for the handle, don't brush that off lightly. That means your cat has been thinking about you long before you stepped inside. Fifth, the first 10 seconds after you walk in, either deepen or weaken your bond. What's your automatic routine when you come home? Be truthful. Most people kick off their shoes, glance at their phone, drop their bag, and maybe shout hello to someone in the next room. And your cat, they're standing right there looking up at you, and you just stepped past them without acknowledgement. Here's why that matters more than you might think. Cats aren't like dogs. They rarely beg for attention twice. When a cat presents themselves at that door, they're offering a brief window of connection on their own terms. And if you blow right through it, they register that outcome, not with resentment or a dramatic scene. They simply, quietly stop expecting anything meaningful from that moment. And this is the part that genuinely troubles me. Over time, some cats stop greeting at the door altogether. Not because they stopped caring. Over weeks and months, some cats eventually stop coming to the door entirely. Not because their affection faded. Sure, but because they learned that the ritual leads nowhere. You enter, you're distracted, and they receive nothing back. So they check out before you do. But here's the encouraging truth. It takes almost nothing to fix this. 10 seconds, that's all. Lower yourself down, slow your energy, offer a calm acknowledgement. Let them sniff your hand, rub against you, complete their greeting ritual. You don't need to scoop them up or make a grand gesture. Just be present for the span of one slow, conscious breath. That small act is more than enough. Sixth, you are their safety anchor, and they need you to fill that role. Remember earlier when I promised there was a deeper reason your cat chooses the doorway rather than the sofa, the bed, or any other spot in the house? This is what I was leading to. The front door is the most vulnerable point in your cat's entire territory. It's the seam where the outside world intrudes. Every strange noise, every unfamiliar scent, every potential threat enters through that single opening. And your cat understands this better than anyone because they've been monitoring that threshold all day while you were away. So when they position themselves at that exact location waiting for you, they aren't just being charming. They're stationing themselves at the intersection where safety meets danger, and they're choosing to be there because you are the force that makes that spot feel secure again. But ethologists, scientists who study animal behavior in natural environments, have discovered something profound about this dynamic. Many domestic cats treat their human companion as what's called a secure base. It's the same concept used to describe how a toddler relaxes when a parent walks back into the room. Stress hormones drop, cortisol decreases, and the nervous system finally exhales. Your cat experiences the same biological shift. The instant you walk through that doorway, their body chemistry literally changes because you have returned. So the next time you turn that key and find your cat sitting there looking upward, understand this. That's not a random habit. That's not simple hunger. That's your cat telling you, in the only vocabulary they possess, that you are their calm inside a world they don't fully trust. And they've been waiting all day just to feel that safety again. If this video helped you see your cat differently, do me a favor and drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into the minds of the animals who share our homes.